Happy to have on the Illini Inquirer podcast one of the Illini icons, Illini great, Dee Brown, now head coach Dee Brown of Roosevelt University. Dee, how's that sound? Head coach Dee Brown.
Sounds awesome, man. It's definitely a blessing. Something I'm not gonna take for granted. Very excited, and been dreaming about this day since I stopped playing basketball a couple years back.
So, I mean, how long have you known you wanted to be a coach? I saw in his statement, Bruce Weber said, I knew this day would come. When did you think this is what you wanted to do?
Probably 2010, probably about 12 years ago. Took a job, played in China, and when you're in Europe, man, you play with so many different coaches and so many different so many different coaches that I just sat back and was like, you know what, man, I think this is my call, and I want to get into coaching. I wanted to get into college athletics, but for sure, just leading and being able to lead different organizations throughout the years made me just be like, this is what I want to do.
So you get into the staff at Illinois, you move on to UIC. You have 5 years there, D. How did this opportunity come about, and why was this one you wanted to take and be your first head coaching job?
Yeah, well, they had the same coach for 12 years. He resigned, and it came available. I'm right up the street, like a mile and a half up the street, and saw the job. Met with the leadership team, and loved everything they had to say about the vision of the program. It being in Chicago, me being a Chicago native, and the resources they have here. The facilities, great academics. And again, the location is impeccable. So. And then I'm right in my backyard where it's just a plethora of players, man. It's really good talent up here in the Chicagoland area. So it being in Chicago, it being at the NAI level, it's different. It's a challenge. You're gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to learn. It's not the Division I. I got a lot to learn. I also got a lot to learn as a head coach. So the opportunity presented itself, and I just think it's all about timing. Me being in, a lot of people say, "Are you still young?" I'm like, I ain't getting no young. I ain't getting no younger, man. So this opportunity was great for me, man. Like I said, I'm blessed for the opportunity.
What does it mean, do you think, for you personally, but then also for your job, Dee, that you're in your hometown, you're in a downtown, court there where you guys play? This is an area extremely well. What does that mean for you personally, and then for Roosevelt University having you as its head coach?
Man, it's home. I built a lot of relationships. I never burned no bridges when I was at the top of my career, when I was at Proviso East, when I went to University of Illinois, even when I was playing, I came back and used to play at the UC, and people came out and show love. It's just a lot of love up here from past relationships I had. Most of these high school coaches and played against me. A lot of these, guys that I played against are now head coaches at these programs. Just the familiarity, everybody knowing me and know I did it the right way. Always show people love, show them respect. Never thought I was bigger than anything. I never was bigger than the game. The game has allowed me to gain a lot of relationships, made me travel the world. Playing in all those countries, playing with different guys from this area. It just really adds a different type of feel when people step in and say, "Oh man, you got DB over there." You know what I'm saying? They just show so much love, and it's a challenge too, because most people say, "Oh man, D, got to go over there and win." But no matter where I go, I got to win. And I always thought winning. I always thought I have to make sure I position myself to compete for championships. So I'm happy, like I said, for Roosevelt as well. The location of it, my brother was at Robert Morris in 2001 when they went to a Final Four. And 4 years later, I said, you know what, I want to go to a Final Four. And so it's a lot of inspiration, when this job came available for me to come here and try to do big things.
I'll get my guy Derek Piper involved here in a second, but I wanted to ask you.
DP, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
I wanted to ask you, D, how do UIC prepare you for this job specifically? Obviously first assistant gig where you're at a Division I level, it's in Chicago. How do you feel like that role is going to impact your new role as a head coach?
I was visible. People knew I was at UIC. People knew, when I was over there, I was a guard position coach. We always had really good guards. It's definitely hard to recruit Chicago. Everybody always say that, but there's so many players here, and to keep them at home, the challenges that I faced when I was at UIC, it just prepared me for this. But love being here, man. Like I said, it just made me it made me have a relationship with most of the guys that didn't really know me. So walking into gyms and, me as a coach now instead of a player, just it allowed me to build relationships that I didn't really have from playing playing in Europe and really not being present in the city for a while. But it made me, and also taught me how to really work my phone, how to recruit, how to do the computer work, how to be in the office. And then my player development is went from just I was okay to that's my calling card. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to on the court work, me being able to player develop, and so it took me to another level in the 5 years.
D, most people in this profession have visions of becoming a head coach. What part of your process has made you feel like you're ready for that? You were support staff at Illinois, Mean Street, you did some stuff, and then obviously you spent a handful of years with Coach Yocklich at UIC. How has that developed to where you feel like you're ready, and what have you added to your repertoire, I should say, coaching wise, to make you feel like you're ready for that?
Oh, I've been leading all my life, man. Sometimes when you talking about really good leaders, these coaches out here, for me, I judge all these coaches in the country, no matter what level they're on, how well they lead, how well they're able to be the captain of the ship and surround themselves with a really good staff and lead. I've been leading all my life. Never been the best player on my teams when I was a player, but you knew who the leader was when you watched us play, just by how vocal I was, how I played, how I approached the game. So for me, people always gonna say, "Oh man, we expected this from you, D." And I always say like, "Okay, wow, y'all say I wasn't ready for a job." I would tell people this, man. The analogy I'm gonna give you: when I got drafted to the NBA, my first time walking to an NBA facility, I didn't. You don't know what you're in for. When you walk into the building, my first year with Bill Self at Illinois, I didn't know what I was in for. I thought it was really good. Until you step out there, you don't know what you can and you can't do. For me, I was here and I couldn't, I got to learn the administrative side. I got to do this. I got to do this. It sounded like when I was playing basketball, D can't use his left hand. He can't do this. I just sitting back, I laugh because every team I've played on, everything I've been around, I've always had a really good team around me. And when I'm walking around Chicago or I'm anywhere in the world, they be like, "Man, D, that team you was on." Or when I'm in Europe, they're like, "Man, y'all got a really good team." It's never an individual thing, but I will be a leader of the ship. I will have a really good team around me. And whatever I can't do, it's going to be a guy to my left and my right that's really, really good at it. And when we come together, we're going to be a really good team. And so for me, I'm a leader, always been a leader of men. Know how to talk to people, know how to deal with people, know how to deal with people that's connected to the program. How I carry myself. I never turn down anything. I always talk to every individual. So being a head coach, you have to be the salesman. You have to be the guy that does everything. And the learning and the growing is going to be part of it. I'm willing to do that. I'm a lifelong learner. So I know that it's going to be a different challenge sitting in the seat, but I get that. I embrace it and I'm ready for that.
Leadership's in your DNA, as you spoke to that. And I know that you see on teams, sometimes you try to coach guys into being leaders. And if it's not in the DNA, sometimes it's not a thing for those guys. It is for you, certainly. But during your playing days here at Illinois and then professionally, what did you pick up on? Were there certain things you picked up on from guys, Bill Self, Bruce Weber, professionally, that then helped you gear into this coaching profession?
Philosophies, man. Everybody got their different way of doing it. Play in every league in the world. Play for two great coaches in college. Played for two good coaches in high school. Had great AAU coaches. I took everything. I took a piece of everything what everybody does and put it into my own philosophy and my own way of doing it. One thing that translated is I'm going to go get guys who believe in what I believe in. They speak the same language I speak. I speak winning. I don't have to beg no one to dive on the floor, beg no one to clap for their teammates, beg no one to go to school. You recruit the guys that have your blood, who believe in what you believe in, that come from the background you come from. So recruiting is big, but I'm going to recruit kids who are tough because I'm tough. The guys I've been around are tough. Toughness wins. So for me, it's really that simple, man. I took from those guys, they recruited. If you give Bruce Weber his type of guys, he gonna win. When Self get his type of guys, he gonna win. We've been winning. So that's the method of what I picked up, that go get the guys that fit you.
D, I wanted to bring that up. Bill Self, when he came into Maywood and was recruiting a McDonald's All-American like yourself, I imagine the recruiting pitch is a little different than what you have to give, right, at the NIA level. But there might be some similarities of how you connect with players. So what is your sell to Roosevelt University and playing for Dee Brown?
It's all about the fit. You know, degrees matter with me. Talk a lot about education first. When I talk to the families, I want to hear that that's important to them. I want them to know that a degree is number one on my list. I want to hear them talk about impact in the community. Like they feel the need to go out and really make an impact in these communities by reading to schools, by going to hospitals and doing all the things that you know, bring that good fortune and good and just good, being a good person every day. And then they got to be talking about competing for championships and want to have a great experience, a great, you know, I want to go to the right fit. Everybody say they want to be professionals, which is fine, you know, but you'll know by how they approach the everyday hustle if they really want to be a pro. I was a pro for 9 years, and all these schools tell guys, I'm gonna make you a pro. Guys got to make themselves pros, and you go and talk to them about that. You would know by how they talk to you if they really want that. So for me, it's telling them that you know, you come over here with us. We believe in that. We believe in team. We believe in you graduating, and we're gonna get after it. We're really gonna work. And I still, you know, for me, I just love basketball. I got a passion for life and basketball. So if you want to be about that, then we're gonna get the right kids, because they are going to different places, and with the portal being how it is, a lot of kids are not even being recruited. I'm going to recruit you. I'm going to let you know I care for you. I got a plan for you, and you know, I really genuinely just want to help. And that's why I wanted to make an impact. And that's why I knew I wanted to be a coach. Is we make big impacts in young men's lives, and people aren't getting believed in. Like Coach Self believed in me. So when I go talk to kids, they're gonna know I believe in them. I care for them, and I'm a hooper. Like, want to see them make some money one day. Want to see them get into the business world. Want to see them go get an NBA job. I want to help them become the people they want to become, and who not else to learn from a guy who someone taught me how to do it.
And I want to hit on another thing you hit on there, D, which is the transfer portal. It wasn't something when you were a player. I wonder what would have happened if the transfer portal wasn't when Coach Self.
I'm a feast on it. I'm a feast on it.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, like,
these guys gonna make some. These guys, I ain't gonna say they're gonna make some bad decisions. My bad, Jay. I just think a lot of guys gonna make a lot of bad decisions, and once they leave, they realize that wasn't a fit for them. Roosevelt was gonna be a really good fit for
them. How do you think that would have impacted you as a player? You know, when Coach Self left, like that's crazy to think about. But it's just a different era, D, and I think it's advantageous for all levels. You're going to lose some guys if you're a lower level team, but you also can get some guys who are pretty talented. And obviously, we see the big fish are eating there too. But what would you think of the transfer portal if you were a player?
Well, I had to probably bag Darren to stay. You know what I'm saying? But because it was too cold in Champaign. But no, we had a nucleus. We had a team where Coach Self never lied in the recruitment process. Right after the day I committed, he told me to call Darren and tell him to get on board too. I was like, what? Okay, we the same position, but we can make it work. I just think that it would have impacted a lot of guys, but not us. I mean, we had such a great team bond. Like, our bond was so crazy that Darren, I mean, like I said, I don't know, like Darren was a Coach Self guy, you know what I mean? But we couldn't leave, you know what I'm saying? Because Illinois is, again, you know, we loved Illinois. Illinois basketball is special.
On the note of transfer portal, we know that NIL at certain places are certainly a big deal as well. The environment around college athletics has changed. How have the players changed or stayed the same from your day in, you know, operating in that environment based on what you've seen?
Oh, it definitely didn't change. I think you gotta think about, man, when you got a really good team, your 9 through 13 is really good. Your ninth guy is really good. He just can't get on the court. He can't play in front of me. Can't get out there and take Luther head minutes. So they got to be patient. They got to learn how to be a good teammate. They got to develop. They got to, if we shooting shots, if we lifting really hard, they got to lift it just as much, because you got to be ready. So when my junior year, I came back to school, broke my foot. I'm sitting at the crib and people like, man, like we don't know how I'm here, Coach Webber. We don't know how Dee never played point guard and James has got to be the guy and this guy. I'm like, dude, well, Coach Webber, no, we got 10 pros on our team. It's gonna be a top 10 team. Like, and I'm coming back and coach, I had like 400 assists. I'm like, I had to defer. I was being a good teammate. James Augustine had a role. He was being the best at his role. So I would just tell you that our 9 through 13 on your bench better be good, and you better have a really good player development guy because if you do got a good player development guy and you do get guys better, they're gonna want to leave and transfer now. That's the thing because they're not getting opportunity to play, and there's no more patience. There's no more learn how to be a good teammate and wait your turn. And you learn that, especially when you get to the pros, that any guy that get drafted to the Bulls, I went to see Ayo with the Bulls, and Ayo had a penny on Gordon Levine, and he wasn't even in the lineup. And then he waited his turn, had the process, and he ended up starting. It's just a process. You got to respect the process and trust it. And a lot of these kids, once it don't go well, the parents turn and say, "Oh well, we leaving," instead of just being patient, waiting, getting better. And when it's your turn, when Trent Frazier leave, next guy up.
Recruiting wise, you got to find guys that fit, that have the cohesion like you guys did back in 2005. But from a recruiting perspective, as soon as you got in the coaching industry, I thought, why wouldn't a point guard want to go play for Dee Brown? Like, how important is that? And what do you feel like your vision is for a point guard that you're gonna recruit and what that process is like?
Yeah, DP. I never thought every kid wanted to play for me, man. They want to play for. It's some really, really good coaches out here who their names don't matter in this business. You know, guys want to go to what's on his shirt. What you got on your shirt? If I had on the Kansas shirt, you know, be a lot easier to recruit a really tough 5-star point guard. Even then, it gets real competitive. So my sale is really simple. Is I do very well with point guards who work hard, who think like myself, who's tough, who come from my background. But when it comes to that, I want a tough leader. I want a guy who, you know, gets out there and really leads by example. He ain't just talking. You know, I can tell when a guy just talking. Yeah, coach, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. All right, buddy. I need someone who's gonna come in and really walk the walk and be an extension of me because I'm a grinder, I'm a worker, and that's how I was able to be successful. You know, I wasn't as talented as other guys, but when it came to putting in work and doing, you know, a little bit of everything on and off the court, I was that guy. And so for me, recruiting wise, I'm getting tough-minded individuals who's serious about being a student athlete, serious about competing for championships, and that's just something you just gotta. That's why recruit is big. It is something that you gotta really take serious because you gotta find the right one. They out there, and if they're tough enough and they're as serious as I'm telling you they are, they're usually high major guys or really D1 guys. So I got a lot of work to do, but I'm very excited for the challenge and know I'm gonna get the right people.
Dee, you're really good at this side of the thing, like you always have been. And obviously for Roosevelt University, I mean, this is a really buzzworthy hire, and obviously you know basketball so well. So how do you try and parlay that? You know, obviously you're here. I know you're on NBC Sports Chicago. Like you're really smart about those things. So how do you try and parlay that into good basketball on the court?
Getting the message out there, you know, people. When I was an assistant, I wasn't talking like this. I was playing my role, you know.
Yeah.
Really, I was a really good follower. Most of the guys that want to be leaders got to realize, you know, you got to be a follower and you got to learn. You got to sit back and see how it's done. You know, for me, I've always, you know, spoke well with the media. I always knew what to say. You know, I don't have no media training. I'm gonna be myself no matter where I go, who I talk to. I'm gonna be me, and people have been knowing that about me. So, get my message out there that I'm really trying to identify, you know, guys who want to come over here and compete for championships, have a great experience. I mean, again, value education, and just keep telling you, man, Chicago's a beautiful place. You get a lot of negative publicity out there across the country, but it's top 5 city in the world. We have great basketball, great food. People love basketball. They love sports. So if you understand the landscape, which I do, I got to get blue collar, hardworking, serious individuals who embrace those things I just spoke about, and they got to fit who I am. And that ain't no secret. It's just what it is, and that's what's if you look at every school, they have their identity. You know, I'm just gonna say this because I like Brad a lot. You know, anybody just can't go play for Brad Underwood. Like,
Right.
You got to be tough. You got to be. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like, so when it comes to when people mention my name, you know, oh, I remember you as a player, man. Love watching. I'm like, I got one question for you. How did I play? What made you? What part of my game made you stand out? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's games I scored 4 points and people, oh, he ain't scored. Did we win the game? How was I defensively? Was I out there playing hard? Was I a good teammate? Like, I want guys, when you watch us play, that's who we are, man. Them guys play together. Them guys play hard. Them been on the teams I've been on, and I never been on a team where y'all looked and was like, oh man, them dudes soft, or them dudes they don't play hard. You know, we respect the game. We respect people. You know, we do right in the community. I just want to identify those who are serious like me, who's serious about those things, and ain't just talking about it. They doing it. They want to make an impact in the community. They want to graduate, get their education. They want to compete for championships. They want to be known as a hard rocking dude. Man, you know, I'm told you my favorite player when I was coming up. I used to tell people, I used to laugh, like Lucas Johnson was my guy. I can rock with Lucas Johnson. I'll recruit a kid that play like Lucas Johnson. You win games with guys like Lucas Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of fans would argue with that. Two of the most liked players in recent Illinois history. Dee, basketball's been pretty good to you. You've been good to basketball as well. I got to ask, man, NIL, like, what do you think you would have made back in the day, man, especially that junior and senior year?
The money they're being offered nowadays is God bless them. You know, everybody think guys like us. I say us guys who can speak on it, who actually would have made some money. I'm in love with all that, man. I'm happy these kids are able to get some money for themselves, but I just need to see a product. You know, I mean, I got to see some wins, championships. I got to see some consistent numbers. For me, I was consistently, like, I was even keel every year. I played the same. We won 25 plus games a year. I need to see that. And due to that right there, that's why I would have made some money, because I just wasn't only playing well or playing consistent, you know, with my numbers and every year competing for championships, but we was winning championships and we was beating and we was operating at a high level. So when doing that, absolutely, I think I would have made tons of money, because the stuff I used to do in the community and the appearances I used to do, I wasn't charging no money for those. You couldn't get no money for those. It was all from the heart. It was all because I love the people down there, and they supported us. Man, the basketball was beautiful when we was down there, man. We had so much support. They was making tons of money in Chicago, though. That's where my money would have been, doing stuff in Chicago. But what I've been really locked in, though, how can guys be really locked in on their craft if they have money, doing all these events and doing all these things, when, you know, that's the only thing for me that, you know, would have been a little different. Would I have been focused on basketball, and or I'd have been running to Chicago every other day to try to get some money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy with the game is going. I'm happy for these young men that they're able to make some money.
Dee, a lot of the guys you played with at Illinois really making an impact in the coaching profession. It's been a topic of conversation the last couple of years. See Brian Randall, the Suns, Jarrett's obviously at Texas, Raj, Rich McBride, yourself now. How cool has that been to see and watch unfold? And how much conversations do you guys have amongst each other about just kind of this rise up in the profession?
That's awesome, man. Raj definitely FaceTime me. I like Raj. I think Raj is going to be a phenomenal head coach. I asked Raj back a while ago. His whole thing didn't change. I'm happy for him. He's doing his thing. Brian Randall the same. I asked Brian Randall, like 5-6 years ago, man. I'm like, man, would you be interested in getting into coaching or doing something? Like, no, I probably want to stay on the basketball side. I was like, no, I think you'll be great, man. How you talk, your demeanor, your experience. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Jarrett as well. Jarrett was the guy that when he was at Illinois, he was really the guy. You know, I started every game of my career but one because of him. You know, let him start on senior night because of what he meant to the program. You know, he's a real leader in the locker room, and he was a leader off the court. He was a big brother. So happy for him. You know, Rich McBride is going to be phenomenal as well. Quiet, real soft-spoken, but really know the game, and he's tough. You know, I like tough coaches. He learned a lot from a lot of different guys. Me and him got the same mentor, so he's going to be special as well. You know, I just we had some real guys who got good basketball minds, and Darren was really about it. Darren would be an unbelievable GM. Like he'd put together a team that can compete for championships because his basketball mind is so sharp. So it's a couple guys, like I said, who, you know, who I think, like a James Augustine who just retired, that may, you know, if you talk the right language to him, may get him to do something on his off time and come and give an impact to your bigs who he's been playing and having a successful career as well. So we have some really good guys. I was just telling our guys the other day on the Zoom, man, like I play with 5 draft picks at Illinois. I play with 11 European pros. Like these guys that I played with, I got beautiful minds and was real hoopers.
What's the difference where you guys are in coaching profession and Darren's out there punching Frank Gore in the face? Like what's different about Darren?
Hey man, Darren just did good by his money, man, and he likes other stuff right now. You know what I mean? Basketball, he played such at a high level for so long. He needed to do some other stuff. But yeah, Darren does his thing, man. Darren, good people.
Well, Dee, I gotta ask, man, you're one of the most beloved players on one of the most beloved groups of players in Illinois history. So we're 17 years removed from the 05 run, right? I'm feeling old about that, but what's something about that team that people still might not know? Whether it's a story, something about that team. I don't know. Just I want to give you the floor for that because people just love that team so much.
Yeah, special team, man. I just think the thing. I mean, I can't. I mean, everything y'all need to know, y'all know, man. We just loved each other, man. It was a brotherhood. You know, we worked so hard, and we loved each other so much that we didn't believe we can lose. Like we didn't believe, like we lost to Duke. That's my sophomore year, and I never saw a whole group of players, like I say everybody, and they can call me out for it, boo-hoo and cry about a loss. Lost 72-62. We thought that year we were pretty nice, but we lost 72-62 to Duke. We was on the plane, we was coming back. I ain't never seen that many guys cry, but I remember Luther Head saying, and there was a couple other guys that when he said it, everybody like looked and they were serious about it. It's like, I don't think we're gonna lose next year. And the way we carried ourselves, and even to this day, we 6 points away from perfection, but we didn't feel we would lose no matter what game we were in. I remember Coach, I just watched the video about us, and first in peace to my man, Coach McClain. I was playing Wisconsin, and we was down like 10 on the road, and I was looking at their face. They was like, we can't believe we beating them. They look scared. So I came to the huddle. I was like, man, these dudes scared. And I think our people behind the bench was like kind of like looking like, man, then they be our first loss. And then Jack Ingram started hooping. Guys was just like new, because Jack was one of those tough dudes I'm telling you about. Like them dudes was look kind of scared, kind of like we can't believe we winning. Like we used to be in games and we just felt like we could not lose. But how hard we worked, days we didn't take off. 7, 8 guys in the lab all the time. This was back, like I said, 17 years ago when you can't videotape this stuff. We didn't have social media outlets and all that type of stuff. So the people we went to school with would tell you we'd be at home just playing cards, having a time like college students do, and daring to say something that's like, outrageous. I'd be like, we can go to the gym, man. Like, you know what I mean? And then the whole house, having a house party, go to the gym and watch us play. You know what I'm saying? And we'll playing to one in the morning, really get because that frustration out of like, I thought at times we were so competitive that when I was getting too much attention in the media, they wanted to get after me. They wanted to be like, D, you not that guy, bro. Richard tell you, Rich McBride, Luther Head, Darren, like the guard battles was pretty intense because they wanted to show like I'm the guy. And that's why every time you saw me in the media, I used to tell y'all like, hey man, Darren Wayne probably be the best guard in the country, man. Like that dude pretty good, but I think our best player may be Luther Head, like, because we was playing each other and settling that every day. Like if I can't beat them and if I'm losing every day and they getting the best of me, I got to talk about it. But when y'all saw me playing games, I thought the other guards weren't as good as these dudes. So like it was easy money playing against the other good guards. You know what I'm saying? So we were just so competitive. and y'all didn't see those type of matches or those type of interactions we'll have. Like, we were serious. It wasn't no fighting or we wrestling each other, punching on each other. Hey, let's go to the gym, man. Let's get this frustration out.
Along those lines, it feels like the roster can compete with itself, right? Like the battles in practice right now, we'd all love to see, because of the talent that is accruing in Illinois. And I know, Dee, you bleed orange and blue. So just watching from afar, knowing people in the program, what's it been like to watch Brad Underwood, and why do you think he's been successful?
First off, because he's smart enough to hire, some guys. You know what I'm saying? Chester Frazier is the guy. Tim Anderson is a guy. Like, I could imagine, and he got Adam Fletcher over there. He got some guys over there, man, that's really talented and really about what he about. He about toughness, man. He about, hey man, get these guys better, man. Like, let's kick some tail. Let's do what we do. You know what I'm saying? So he got some really good people around him, and he know what type of player he need to be successful.
As far as the excitement around the program, it'd be hard to rival 2005. It's not there yet, but I think that it's interesting when Josh Whitman hired Brad, he really set the bar of, we want to get this place, this building, back to where it was in those days. What do you remember about what that was like the Wake Forest game, or just that environment, and then just the way that Illinois is now trying to get in that same kind of realm?
Man, that community loves basketball. We used to touch the community. You know, I used to always tell our guys, make sure we all pumping at a high level of going out to community, doing community service work, get people excited, get people behind us, because they used to close stores, and if you couldn't come to the game, people was watching them, having big time watch parties and watching that good team play. But the thing about Champaign is, man, when you get those good matchups and you playing against quality opponents and they coming in, when you land the plane, I promise you, two things: it's gonna be cold and it's gonna smell like manure, and you're gonna get your ass kicked, because we're gonna win. So for me personally, those were the things. You gonna fly here, let that wind blow, let it catch you, come over here, take this L and head back out. And that's what the people, when they came to the I call Simi Hall, State Farm, they knew that we was about to do some ass kicking, and they was gonna be as loud as possible. It's times that place used to be quiet, but it wasn't never quiet when I was there, because we didn't allow it to be. We're going to 22-0 run on you, and you just felt it. People appreciated the ball movement, they appreciated the intensity. You just can hear it and you felt it. And so when you walked in that building, I felt like, we just can't lose in here. And that's what the people down there want you to feel, and it should be that way.
People in establishments are still having the 05 versus 89 argument. Any case on your end?
It ain't even close. I think the 89 team would struggle with the Frank Williams team.
Underrated team, D.
Man, they would struggle with them.
Yeah.
Them dudes were physical. Frank Williams, they had people be putting arguments up who the best point guard ever played in Illinois. Frank definitely in my top three. They had Corey Bradford, probably the best shooter, arguably. They had presence on the post with Kapalia and Griffin and Brian Cook, and they just had legit physicality, and then they were well coached. You know what I'm saying? Getting to that 2 game and start really, grinding you out. So I like the 89 team. I got to watch them a little bit more. The style of play was different. You know what I'm saying? They got to, people was critical on us about how we shot threes. But when we won by 30, 40, we beat Gonzaga by 30, 40. We was making like 15 threes, you guys, a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were barely losing games. But like, that's why I say the style of play different. I like, they say they taller. You know what I'm saying? That's cute. That's cool. But they did have some guys, though. They did have some guys. I like to talk trash, you guys. I see them guys all the time, and they'd say the same thing to me. D, you too little. Who you was gonna guard. I just be laughing. Like, I like it. Because we can actually do a game, like that right now. If they want to show up, get their 5, we get our 5.
Yeah,
they all in shape. They all in shape.
Yeah.
Kendall Gill still got out there and get 20. You know what I'm saying? Bardo looked real good too. He got his little fitness thing going. You know what I mean? I got one leg, so me and Bardo would be a really good matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Dee, I want to let you go. You've given us so much time. But yeah, I think you guys were at the beginning of this kind of wave of new basketball, right? Like the amount of threes you guys put up.
If you watch my freshman and my sophomore, I told somebody, I said, true story, I love Roger Powell. Sacrificed everything. You know what I'm saying? Raj was a three. When I first came in, he was a starting three for me. It was me, Darren, Raj at the three. Or Sean Harrington to come in every once in a while. But Raj was a three. But when Luther took his game to the next level, he either had to sit down or he had to move to the four, which he was an undersized four. And he just became a monster at the four because he was really a guard. He was a wing. So in the way we shot the ball, the way we moved, like you watch, the motion, you know what I'm saying? We rarely ran offense. We just came down, ran motion. And then defensively, we was just a terror. We won one of the better defensive teams there was to come through there. So we're definitely one of those teams that like, oh, they shoot too many threes. But now everybody shoot threes and layups. That's what they do. Like Coach Weber, only person he let shoot mid-range jump shots was who? The number 3 pick in the draft. That's who. The number 3 pick in the draft. Darren Williams. That's the only one came down, bing, 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 shot a pull-up. We didn't do no middies. We shot threes and layups.
It's like the Phoenix Suns were watching, man, and they were just like, "Oh, we're gonna do that." Now everybody does it. Well, Dee, we can't thank you enough for the time, for speaking to Illini fans, but also it's awesome to see as a head coach, and wish you nothing but success up in the hometown, our home area of Chicago. So appreciate the time as always, Dee, and good luck, man.
Man, thanks for your time, man. And like I said, you guys do a great job, and man, just thanks for the support and love down there from everybody.